Hey guys, we're back again for another week of Cyber Talk Unfiltered. Who knows where
Eh?
this week is? Who knows where this week is going to end up?
Or if Chris is going to stay, or if his internet's going to act up
Well,
just because we're live.
I hemorrhaged a blood vessel in my eye last week after last week's episode.
Well, that escalated quickly. I said bad internet, and you're like, my eyes blowing up.
Okay. It probably wasn't from the episode, but I really did have a hemorrhage in my eye, so that was kind of weird. I looked like I was practicing Halloween a little early.
Was it from everyone not listening to your professional advice? Was that just enough? Your eye was just like,
Yeah,
I'm done.
the stress just kind of
checking out.
So
Anyway, what's going on in the world of cyber? You know, another week, another breach, or three. I actually got a notice that I'm part of a class action suit, and they said you can expect up to $35 in remediation. I'm like, why am I bothering?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that makes you feel
man.
better.
You could have dinner at McDonald's.
Barely.
Yes, I don't know if it's,
barely.
yeah, I saw something that McDonald's is going to have an all-you-can-eat buffet.
What?
It was an AI generated thing that showed up on Facebook this morning, and people were like, "Oh wow, look at that!" And you look at it, it's a bunch of people don't have faces. People got 6 fingers, and
Well, I think that might be the result of an all-you-can-eat buffet. Never mind, I'm going to get sued.
Anyway, it's just where AI's going and what people are doing with it. More fake news. Anyway, the banner we got down today says back to basics. 20% of controls kills 80% of the risk.
And this list might not be quite 20% of the controls, might be a little more than that, but like still the principle is
it doesn't matter. And the 80-20 rule applies in so many places that dude, I'm good with it.
Life runs that way, right? The point is like
if this is 20% of controls fix 50%, still good. But what's a control for our audience?
You want the good definition or the bad definition?
You had a good definition earlier.
Controls are any safeguard mechanism or countermeasure that we can use. So that could be a technical tool. It could be like you install endpoint detection response. Could be a policy. Could be a procedure. It's literally just what an organization would use to prevent, detect, minimize, or respond to like a security risk or threat.
So I think one of the great things. One of the things to think about there is it's not necessarily a tool that you purchase, like you said. It could be a policy. One of the controls, one of the great controls that are in place from a financial perspective is picking up the phone and verifying numbers. Mm-hmm. That's a control, but it's not an IT function, but it is a policy.
Well, password policy, right? Like how do you construct a password, which is one of the ones we want to talk about. So this is a good start. Like password length, have a minimum of 12 to 15 characters. Complexity is overrated. Length is king. Insert whatever you want.
I'm not. Yep.
He's not gonna say it. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to do passwords alone. What's the best friend of a password today that nobody wants to do?
Multi-factor.
Yep. 2-factor or multi-factor authentication. If you just do 12 to 15 minimum character password, obviously try not to use passwords across sites. Password managers are good for that. Combine it with multi-factor authentication, not just on email though. We want multi-factor authentication everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So Chris, you mentioned that you want these longer passwords, but do passwords really matter if we get MFA enabled too?
Yes. I'm just gonna say yes. Yeah. I'm always gonna say yes. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? So if we start and we accept as an organization people using short passwords and common phrases, we're accepting mediocrity, and we're accepting that as so in a case when you can't put MFA on something, you can't do it, they're going to make those same passwords.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you want to set a minimum standard for the company.
But I think a key thing you mentioned was length is key. I know we had a little joke in there. But the complexity is overrated. In the olden days, it used to be like, hey, you need capital, lowercase, symbol, blah, blah, blah. Use a parentheses instead of a C. And that's kind of going by the wayside for something you can remember. It's longer.
Well, yeah. And right now, 12 to 15 is good. Well, right now, 12 to 15 is good. As tools get better, as AI gets better, as we get towards quantum computing, and every iteration of graphics cards that are used to do password hacking get better, we'll probably going to extend that up to 15 to 20 and beyond. But right now, 12 to 15 combined with multi-factor authentication really gives you a good baseline for your company. It's gonna reduce a lot of risk. But
and
again,
it's cheap and it's easy.
Yeah, but MFA everywhere. So if it's a software as a service app that you use, MFA, your privileged accounts in your company, so those admin accounts that everybody wants to run as, and that's a precursor for something later, but admin accounts should all require MFA everywhere, whether it's in a cloud, whether it's local, whatever, should require MFA. VPN, MFA. Email, MFA. I feel like we could turn that into give that to
lunch, MFA.
Yeah, they could make like a little music video of me and just dub it over, just remix it. But so that's where you start, right? So it's going to help you with phishing. It's going to help you with things like credential stuffing, where they're just trying to use like password lists and just try to pass off credentials. It's going to help you with brute force password attacks as well. So start there with your company. That shouldn't cost you anything, or it might cost you a little bit, but shouldn't cost you that much. And that's a really good baseline.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't stop there. There's got to be more, right?
Oh, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
There's always more.
Yeah. So what do we think is the first major source of risk for a company?
People.
Okay. Well, other than people, what do people use? That's probably the biggest source of risk in an organization.
Email
every day.
Thank you for whispering that. It's creepy, but okay. Thank you. Email.
We got creepy Matt today.
Yeah. So
feel punchy.
Phishing filters, anti-phishing stuff, impersonation defense, if possible. If you can do that, if you can have really good email security combined with the MFA, combined with passwords, you're going to be in a good spot. There's a lot more attacks that can happen, but that's going to get you in a good spot. And let's go to the next one that Matt said. What's the next thing you worry about the most, Matt, with the company?
People. I don't like people. My networks are secure without people. Sorry, is that too far? But no, seriously, the people factor. Training. Phish testing. Is this where we're going with it?
Yeah. We want to train our end users. And training is valuable. Don't get me wrong. It's really valuable. It's just not really reliable. So as a control, it's something we need to do, but you got to pair that with the other technical controls we talked about. So, or other controls in general. So we have email, we have end user training. We now combine that with our password policy of 12 to 15 characters minimum. MFA has to be enabled everywhere. And we have email security. And now you've got a really good start to a program.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But
sure,
training alone doesn't fix it. It's just not reliable because humans make mistakes. Humans are stressed out sometimes. And I'll give you an example. We have a customer that got sent a phishing email from a CISO, or Chief Information Security Officer, from one of their customers.
Oops.
So if you believe that just because you're in IT or cybersecurity that you will never click on a phishing email and never get your email popped. Now, I don't know the credentials of this person. I don't know if they're qualified to be a CISO. Outside looking in, maybe not, but it happened. It happened. And I get it from IT providers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I had one 2 weeks ago from the support email of a company I didn't even know in Virginia. Why are they emailing me? Why am I getting phishing emails from a IT company in Virginia I don't know of from their IT support email? Who knows? Somebody got popped. But so now you got a really good start. So let's skip the next one. We have a list here, not in any particular order, but I think the first four that we talked about, really good start for anybody. And that really shouldn't cost you that much. Let's talk about patching and vulnerability management. it's patching is relatively cheap, right? Windows can patch itself, and I know we all hate Windows updates because sometimes random problems will happen from them, but they are important.
Yeah, and they're not optional anymore. It's like, people are like, oh, I'm just gonna run with it. No, it's got to do it. And then we still got people that are on Windows 10. So that's a whole other conversation that we need to have. It's like you can't patch past Windows 10 anymore. You're going to have to go upgrade and probably buy a new computer.
Well, you
could buy 35 days. That's it.
You could buy the ESU. You could spend $61 for the first year and buy the ESU, which it'll probably double next year. So, and that's just a extension of security updates. Like basically, they'll give you security updates for another year, but it's gonna cost you $61 per computer. And then the history says they're probably gonna double it next year. So, is it really worth an old computer keep investing that much money just to have Windows get patched? Probably not. So you probably should think about a replacement. But vulnerabilities are another one, right? We see this all the time. Look at how many firewalls are getting popped with vulnerabilities, VPNs, things like that. You really got to be looking for this stuff. It's not the cheapest thing to look for, but the value is going to it's going to be there in value, because if you can find a vulnerability and patch it before it gets exploited, like, I don't even want to know, like, depending on your company, that could be invaluable, or, it could save you. Right.
So we had somebody come along. They had some third party that was managing their firewall, and it was one of the known. They got popped by one of the known vulnerabilities with the VPNs last year, and wound up experiencing a ransomware event that showed up on a dark website.
So managing a firewall, but you have to actually manage it.
The firewall vendor apparently never logged into it.
I feel like we need a soundboard with like Britney Spears' "Oops, I Did It Again" every time we tell a story.
We need sound effects. Boom, dum, dum.
Yeah. But so just to recap, passwords, 12 to 15 characters, combined with multi-factor or two-factor authentication everywhere, combined with email security and user training. Good program so far. We got a good start. Add patching and vulnerability management. We're really good right now. We're pretty good. But we probably need to talk about the thing that everybody wants to do that nobody should do. And I'm just going to say it. Stop running your daily account as an admin. Just stop it. You should not be running as an administrator a privileged account every single day. That goes for cloud applications. That goes for your local computer. Like, just don't. Because if you make a mistake and you have admin privileges, really bad shit can happen. Right? So if you're an administrator, people can just run code on your computer, like unrestricted. There's other things that can happen from there. But
I think it's good to point out that, like, us three, we're not above this. I mean, any of us three on our local computers, or our Microsoft 365 services and things like that, our accounts are not admins. We have separate accounts to do that, but we're not running as that all the time. That's a real big one, especially those cloud services, because guess what? You make a mistake in your admin, everybody's account's then compromised. That's what admin is.
I got a story for that. Actually, this is the best story. This is a great story. Best story you'll ever hear.
Uh-oh.
Laugh at that. All right.
Anyway. High stakes, bud.
I mean, nobody knows stories like I do. Okay.
Oh, God.
So we get called in for an instant response situation with email. They didn't want to go to insurance. They didn't really have insurance that would cover it. And they were just like, look, we need you to go through our Google Workspace account and look for it. All right. So one of the guys this is an online retailer. We brought in our SOC services and stuff like that just to kind of pull the information in. And we went through there and we found out that one of the people that was in charge of posting had access to their storefront, was running on Google as administrator. They got phished. They gave up their credentials. Over the weekend, not only did they give up their credentials to the storefront, but the hackers were able to change the bank account information where all the payments went. So through their payment processor. Their entire weekend got siphoned off to a account that they didn't know about on a holiday weekend, and they lost something like $20,000 worth of sales for small business.
So they basically stole credit card transactions for a couple of days, like all of them.
Yeah, like all of them over a weekend. Nobody's watching.
Impressive.
Yep. That's not the best part. that's bad enough, right? We didn't have access to their GCP account. Like that was some other admin account. We just were focused on this, and that was the scope of what we did. So we helped them clean that up. We told them, look, you should force. You obviously they didn't have MFA at the time and stuff like that, so that all got fixed. They didn't want to engage with us, any current services, any future services for whatever reason. They said we should be good now. Okay,
we should be good now.
6 months later, I got a call. 6 months. Hey, we're still getting this charge on our credit card.
Oh no.
These people had went into GCP. The hackers had access to, must have got another access in GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform. They spun up virtual machines. It was $1,200 a month, and they didn't see it for 6 months.
And we all know they were using those virtual machines to hack other people on their dime. Okay, you do have the best stories.
On their dime. And I came back to me like, why didn't you notice this? I'm like, the scope was email, and you guys didn't notice for $1,200 a month for 6 months on a credit card?
It's incredible.
How do you not notice that?
Incredible.
Yeah. And so we engaged them again. We went in there, we helped them clean it up and cancel it. They went to Google. I think Google refunded some of it.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. They didn't really tell me the whole story. So let's recap. Somebody's running an admin in Google, gave up their account through phishing email, got $20,000 drained from their account through their online store, caused them massive problems. Then they had to pay us on top of that. Got everything cleaned up, and then ran up about $7,200 in charges over 6 months on a credit card. Running virtual machines used to basically be relays or hacking for other people. All because somebody was running as an administrator. So that's that story.
But also, they got had the first time and chose not to actually fix the problem.
They never chose to engage with us for further cybersecurity or monitoring or anything like that. So, look, I want to help people, but like if you don't want to be helped, it's much like everything else in life. You just got to let them go.
You can lead a horse to water, or yada yada yada. Any of those.
Yeah, or you can waterboard them. But
that's gonna help. But I mean.
All right, we are getting long here, guys.
Okay, hold on. So there's two more things we got to talk about. We're pretty good. We got passwords, we got MFA, we got email security, we got training, we got patching and vulnerability management, we got don't run as admin, least privilege stuff. Cool. The next thing is backups. We need offsite backups, but we need them to be immutable. That just means they can't be changed. What happens in situations where attackers get access, they will inevitably try to delete the backups before they do whatever they want to do, whether it's ransomware, whether it's just like hacking, deleting logs, things like that. They want to get rid of backups. If you have it offsite and have it immutable, they can't change that. So you're able to recover. That's important. Everybody should have that. That should be bare minimum of how you're doing backups. All your data should be offsite, whether it's cloud data, because again, shared responsibility says you're responsible for your data in a cloud platform. Remember that. Google, Microsoft, everybody says it, but Google and Microsoft, you can back up to a third party. Think about that. Should do that. And this one's not the cheapest, but I highly recommend this. Get an XDR, extended detection response solution with AI and human response. And some people will call that a SOC, a security operations center. Some people will call it like managed extended detection response, which it's basically the same thing. It's a team that uses some AI and some tools to pull in all the logs, everything from what you're doing from your cloud applications, if it's possible, your computers, your servers, if you have them, your cloud infrastructures, if you're running cloud things. They'll pull that information in and they can filter through it really fast with AI, and humans and AI can make a decision to help you. It could be disabling an account that's compromised through email really quickly, and it could be it disables it, resets a password, forces log off, and then all done automatically without having to pick up the phone and call somebody. And then after that, you can reset the user's password, reset them up, and everything like that. So the key is speed here. The faster you can do this, the better mean time to response, and then mean time to detection and then response. So MTDD or MTDR, like that's critical. In a cyber incident, that's critical. So if you can reduce that, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. This is not going to be free.
It's not a free one.
No.
But it's also not exorbitantly expensive either.
Detection is something that people miss. Yeah. Detection is missed so much. Mm-hmm. So much.
Well, they're just looking for anomalies. They're looking for, did Chris just log in Michigan, but did he also log in China at the same time? Oh, we know that's compromised. Lock it.
Why did Chris just download something from the internet that decided to make a scheduled task and download and put a PowerShell script inside of there? That's odd.
Sounds like a good reason to lock
also, why is Chris running as an admin allowing that? Wait, why am I using me as an example? This is a bad example. That'd be no, but
why is Chris talking about himself in the third person?
That concerns.
Well, that's another. I think that's next week.
That's a whole different episode. So that's a different podcast.
Quick recap. Doing all this stuff, it takes a little bit of work, right? But it's so critical to your business. It's so critical to just start a program, start someplace. So, quick recap. Passwords, 12 to 15 characters. Turn on multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication everywhere. Have an email security platform. Train your users. And that's a really good start to the program. Add patching and vulnerability management when you can. Make sure you're also having offsite backups. That's critical. Don't run as admin ever, please. And if you can afford it, go out and find a provider that can provide XDR, extended detection response, with some AI and human response so that they can actually reduce that mean time to detection and mean time to response down to minutes versus hours or days, which really can save your business at the end of the day. And there will be no rant today.
Okay. That's disappointing.
I know, right?
Kind of was one, but, moving on.
All right. So
until next week.
Yeah. Till next week, gentlemen.
So next week, I think we'll pick another myth next week. If you want a myth, drop one for us.